Hello and welcome to the 377th episode of the Unranked podcast. This is Christian Humes here with Dan Weine,
Hello.
Tom Caswell.
Hello, hello.
Hey, boys, doing today?
Good.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Dan, do you have a Chikorita shirt on?
No, this is a happy little lemon.
Put it down just like a little bit. Just cover the face part of it.
Yeah, no, I can see where it looked kind of
Yeah.
like
like,
Chikorita.
like I just saw the leaf and a tiny
be
bit of the
hilarious
top
if-
of it, and Chikorita's like a yellowish green. So I was like, Dan's got a fucking Chikorita shirt going on. What is this?
That would be
but
hilarious if Dan owned that.
That would have been awesome. Yeah.
You know what's hilarious that I do own now? I gotta grab it, but it's 2 feet away from me. 1 second.
What have we
It's gonna
done?
be his young Sheldon.
I
shirt.
now have a tote bag
With
that is
Chikorita
this.
on it. Amazing. Well,
Yep. It
great.
says I shitted and farted with
Great.
There we go.
D's instead of T's.
It's the Reddit
was gifted
special
that.
right there.
I was gifted that. Incredible.
Let's gift our listeners with today's Pokemon.
Oh, let's.
It's the 377th Pokemon. Dan, if I told you the name of this Pokemon was Regirock, what would you guess it looks like?
boy.
I would guess it looks like Reggie Watts, but he's playing
okay.
rock music.
I
All
love that. That's great.
If I had to really guess, I would guess some kind of play on like, you know what? It's gonna be wrong, but I really want to say like a rock wearing a reggae hat.
Okay. I'm correct me if I'm wrong here, Tom. It's just a golem, right? It's just a rock ass golem, right?
Yeah, I mean it's just a bunch of rocks.
Yeah. It's like the Thing from Fantastic Four, but even less humanoid. You know?
Yeah.
Its face
Is it
kind
like
of looks
more
like
or less than like Geodude and all those?
even
I mean,
less.
it
The face
has
looks like
less,
the
yeah.
Celestials from Marvel, where it's just
Yeah,
like
it's
a
just
rows
got like
of
dots
eyes.
for eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, dots for eyes.
And otherwise, it's not like a human form made up of rock. It's a bunch of rocks in human form.
Oh, I
It
see
looks like
there.
the
Okay.
it like the stone talus in
Oh, wow,
Zelda.
yeah.
Mhm.
It really doesn't even have a face.
It
has
does,
a-
Tom.
an H.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's got a big old H. A H.
I remember when they first unveiled these as like the legendaries, the three legendaries.
The first quartet.
There's
Is
only
it
three.
quartet.
I
Is
thought
there
there was
not?
only three.
I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure it's a quartet.
Reggie Rock, Reggie Ice, Reggie Steel. Yeah, and then Latios and Latiosa after that. There's three of them.
I'm not gonna read this because I don't want to spoil it if it's right or wrong, but I'm pretty sure that the name is a combination of Reginald and Cock.
Reginald. Yeah, when they first unveiled these and I saw these, I was like, what are we doing? Like, what are we
Yep.
doing?
Yep.
Really uninspired design. I would say even like the Stone Talus has a lot more personality because it has like the big body and then like the little arms and like the way this is just the symmetry of this. Like you could have gone with something like interesting if it was maybe like asymmetrical, but I just think that it looks
It looks like a rock take on the Iron Giant.
Sure, yeah, I can see that. And then the name combination comes from Regis, which is Latin for royal and rock. So that's where I never knew that.
Oh,
That's
I thought it was
where
Latin for
Reggie.
Philbin.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Regis.
like regicide.
Right, of course. Yeah.
Cool. Name etymology.
Regirock may be based on the golems of Hebrew legend. The
Oh, there you
legends
go.
cast them as servants of higher powers and are said to have writing on their heads. When the writing is removed, the creature would be weakened or even killed in some legends. The five legendary titans may be collectively themed after historical epochs, with Regirock representing the Stone Age. The five
Stone Age,
legendary
Ice Age,
titans.
the Age of Steel to Iron Age.
So they did add two more, I guess, down the line. Regigigas and
That just sounds funny.
and
I don't know.
Rodrigo.
yeah, Reggie Drago.
I like
Yeah.
it's just Rodrigo.
Rodrigo. So and those guys
Rodrigo
were
and Regilicus.
Rodrigo.
those ones. Reggie Lecky. What the fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
Yeah, Regigigas is okay. Yeah, so they did add more to this line of, and I guess they're all they're the Titan Pokemon, which is cool. But yeah, I'm not getting out of bed for this.
I think in animation they're much more interesting because they're kind of like big and stuff. But
Sure,
it's
Yeah. Like it's more
Are they
interesting,
big,
but it's
though?
not that great.
they're pretty big.
Generally, the Golems are
I
pretty
think
big.
I
I thought.
think
they're not like
again. I think if you saw them animated, you'd
They're
like
as
it
big
a
as a
lot
car.
more than you
Big as
do
a
in the
car.
picture. In the picture, it looks really lifeless, and when the way it moves, it looks much more like a rock mech, Tom.
sure.
So, like in the anime, it's a much better Pokemon than it is, unfortunately, in the games. So I look, I don't give a fuck about these Pokemon, but I will say, at least in the anime, they do look cool. So that's basically like their best version.
Sure.
Otherwise,
You know who its favorite band is?
No.
Twisted Sister.
Why?
They want to rock.
Okay. There it is.
Yep. Regirock.
Great. Let's move on.
Let's indeed.
Dan, what's been going on?
I've been viewing a lot of movies and TV and drinking Spindrift.
Yeah, we
Got a
got
bunch of
Okay.
Spindrift.
Dan's on the drift train.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to
The
cut
drift
out
train.
soda completely. So like this definitely helps with the carbonation, but it's not too much carbonation. That was my problem with most seltzers.
When you said that, Dan, I was like, that is word for word what I would say about every seltzer prior to Spindrift. So I was like, oh, you might like this because that is exactly the problem I had with all of other seltzers. I think actually the
pineapple's pretty
carbonation
good.
is probably no different. And what the difference is those other drinks, because they're 0 calorie, they have like the fake sweeteners and things in them, or they have like the aromatics. So there's nothing affecting the viscosity of the drink. Where like a syrup based like
so all
soda,
you're noticing is the bubbles because that's all that really exists.
right? And the Spindrift uses actual fruit juice, and that's probably enough to help like kind of structure the water. That's what I think the difference is. Because it would be weird if all the other seltzers were like that much more bubbly. But I've always felt that way as well. So I think it probably has to do with like the actual viscosity of the water. That would be my guess. I don't know.
But yeah, I had this.
Also
I had
not
the
a
strawberry
scientist.
lemonade earlier. I got the pineapple going now.
How do
Had
you
the
like it?
raspberry lime. I liked. The lemon was okay. The pineapple's pretty good. The strawberry lemonade. You said it was a little too sweet, and it's just like it's a stronger flavor.
I wish it was a little bit stronger on the lemon part and a little bit weaker on the strawberry part. I found the mix to be a little off.
Yeah, the mix didn't bother me too much, but I'm curious how different the pink lemonade is from the strawberry lemonade. Because it's more cherries and less strawberries.
I think it's made of grapefruit.
No, it says on the thing cherries.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I actually have the
Great.
case right here.
Great.
Amazing content.
I mean, the lemon lime is my favorite. This is amazing content, Tom.
So yeah, here's the picture. They got the
There you
ingredients
go.
are limes, cherries, and lemons.
Nice.
Lemons.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
I haven't had that one in a while. I've been using the new flavors a lot. So there's a new one that's peach that just came out that I really want to try.
That looks good. I don't know when it will ever be available over near me though. I feel like in Boston's probably the only place you'd ever find it.
I mean, you should be able to get Spindrift.
You can, but it's like only certain things are being stocked by certain stores. I don't want to pay triple for it online.
Sure.
Like it's been on sale like for $4.99 a case for everywhere around here.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So far,
at a certain point, if you find a flavor you like, you can always like pretty much get them on Amazon in bulk for cheap as well. That's what I usually do. They have peach strawberry, Tom, just came out. It's very good. And then they have the Spindrift spiked, which I think are superior to the White Claw.
I do
like
Happy Dad. You guys do Happy Dad?
The
We
fuck
have
is
that at
Happy
a lot.
Dad?
That sounds like
It's-
some kind of masturbation technique.
It's a seltzer.
No.
Never heard of
yeah.
it. No, I do
Very-
not.
Very popular around here. And I think it's meant to. The reason it's called Happy Dad is like it's meant to look like the aesthetics are more like a beer can, like
Cool for it's for men.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's like
it's
for
for
men or
men.
whatever.
Yeah,
Great
I
men.
want to drink. I want to look cool while drinking seltzer.
But it avoids a lot of the problems that I have with like a Truly or like a White Claw. Like it's not as
Oh,
sweet.
So it's
You mean
alcoholic.
it's a alcoholic seltzer?
Oh yeah, it's alcoholic.
Got
yeah,
it. Okay.
Got
yeah.
it.
Got it. That's like
Completely
Spindrift had Spindrift Spiked, which is
Right.
their
Yeah.
alcoholic one, which they put out
Yes.
new flavors for, which are very good.
you go.
I have not had a Happy Dad.
Yeah.
Tuna's a Happy Dad.
Is he?
I don't know about this week. This week I think he's not happy.
Happy.
He's not.
I mean,
What's
this
going
week
on?
he's busy as hell, so probably not.
He's always this weekend.
This whole
Memorial?
week. That's why he couldn't do.
Oh, why is he so
Anything,
busy?
'cause-
What's going on?
I'm guessing work. He said he had to choose between Survivor finale or this.
Yeah.
And Survivor finale was going to win out. Speaking of which, have we all seen?
No,
it
Chris
now?
hasn't seen it.
I
Oh, you
have.
still haven't seen?
No,
Oh, you
I
have.
watched it.
Oh, you
It's
did?
just-
I thought you
it
said you
airs
wouldn't
3
have by
hours
today.
behind here. So
Oh,
yeah.
you meant live. Okay, I thought you
Yeah.
meant by the time we do the pod.
no, so like last night, I didn't want you guys to say anything because although it airs live for you,
Oh.
it doesn't air for 3 more hours.
I knew
Yeah.
that. I figured you meant you weren't going to be able to watch it till the weekend or something.
I didn't want anyone to because because it's a broadcast show. So unlike when Succession goes live, I can watch Succession at the same time as
Yeah.
you. I cannot watch Survivor at the same time as you guys.
Okay, so we can talk a little Survivor then.
Unless I start using a VPN on my TV.
No, don't be nuts. Just
Well, no,
for
I already
Survivor.
have the VPN for all the
Well,
UK stuff.
I know.
I just
but,
didn't
like,
consider if I could watch stuff earlier if I just tell it I'm in like New York. I have to try that out.
Do we want to save spoilers for post show? Do we want to
No,
openly
no,
talk
it's
about it? Fine.
If you are a Survivor
I don't know how to
fan
t-
and you're
yeah.
watching and you don't want to
Hopefully
be
you saw
spoiled,
the finale.
skip forward, 5 or 10 minutes. I'll put a timestamp. Go stop the show, go to the show notes, look at the timestamp, move forward. There you go.
Yeah, I know Steve is a big Survivor guy, but I also know he saw the episode because I was
Yeah,
talking
he's
Did
probably-
during
you,
the
go-
episode.
you went on his podcast, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I went on his.
That was a while ago now,
Survivor
but yeah.
podcast. It was a good time.
Yeah, he's got it going. They're still going with that thing. I haven't been on in a while, but I was talking to him during the episode yesterday, while I was also on a Zoom call, I guess, with Tuna and his friends. As Tuna won our league, his friend won that league.
Well, we are doing by points. We're not doing it by winner.
Oh,
Yep. So we got to calculate all that.
I'm not
No, 'cause
calculating.
we
Who's
didn't use
calculating this?
we didn't use the actual like.
No, but I feel like we just do it by like
What
so
point
and so.
system are you like? Did we
No,
determine a point system?
picked. It was just whoever won is what we did, Tom.
Oh, I definitely thought that
'Cause
we
if
had
there was a
decided
points
points.
thing, then we would have been having to keep score. What are we gonna just?
No,
go
we
back?
wouldn't. We would just go back to it. We would just go back.
I'm
know
pretty sure
who
we
in-
just did
left in
whoever wins
order.
wins because it seemed easier. And
No, because I
How
said,
do you believe points get assigned, Tom? I'm curious.
isn't it super easy?
I don't know. I'm
it depends
asking
on the
how are
system you
wa-
come up with.
Here's what I know about Survivor Fantasy Leagues. It's
Yeah.
either person who wins
Right.
that you draft is the winner, or it's a point system. But the point system, you get points for how well they do in every challenge. What like
Oh no,
what
I
position they
was
get knocked
no,
out,
no,
what
no. I
items
was
they
just,
find,
I was
what
simply
advantages
just
get
gonna say,
played.
no. I was just gonna simply say this person was out at this round. That's a certain amount of points. Then this round, that's a certain amount of points.
Maybe next time because you'd have to determine the actual numbers before
Yeah, we
the whole
didn't-
thing
we
goes
didn't do
down.
any of that groundwork.
You wouldn't need to. You wouldn't need to do that. You
No,
just
because if
see,
you just do a 20-1
you
system or
just
something
wanna
like that,
do,
then
like,
it's not really
Golf
adding
rules,
enough to
and
the
whoever
winner.
has the least amount of points
Yeah,
wins.
you could
So
do it golf
first,
rules,
second,
yeah.
third.
yeah,
So like Carolyn would have got 3 points because she got no votes.
yeah.
Jam would have been 1 point, and it's golf rules is what
Yeah.
you would do.
Yeah.
All right, you do that math. Come back, we'll see who wins.
Yeah, I don't really care. We didn't put any money on it, but I'm not doing the math.
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
not
know
doing
why
it.
you think it's more complicated than that. I mean, I
It's
understand. that
definitely
there
more
are
complicated than who won.
Yeah, it's more complicated.
Yes.
Anyway, whatever. It doesn't matter ultimately. What did we think?
I think it made sense. I think, look, Jam Jam won. My thing is, at that point, I really wanted Carolyn to win.
No, of course.
However, they really focused on Carolyn so much and focused the story around her so much that it feels weird seeing Jam Jam win because we
Yes.
didn't see the conversations
Well,
that like made his
Jam
social
Jam,
game so much
It
better.
didn't feel that weird for Jam Jam. It felt weird that Heidi got a vote at all.
I mean, she had won immunity challenges. She did
But,
the
like,
fire making. She set a record for
I
fire making.
thought Danny's explanation for why he voted for her made total sense as who
Yeah.
Danny is as a person. He like out of the three of them, she was the most athletic. She was the most like she took that big risk at the end, like you said, takes big risky moves. Yeah, I think ultimately
I always think it's funny with that is everyone does it now. Where like they're
But
like,
it's still
oh,
a
I'm gonna
risk.
put myself in fire. It's a risk, but like it's become so commonplace. It's almost like, okay, you get to do fire against someone you're choosing. Just have it. Just don't make it a choice anymore. No one's gonna choose to be the drag along. It doesn't get you any points.
I mean, it played out nice. It played out really well for her. At the end, because I was like, you chose the person who's weakest at fire.
That's exactly how I felt about it.
But then he ended up like doing not too bad, and then she crushed it with.
Well, yeah, she set the record.
Yeah, when they said she set the record, I immediately was like, all right, well, it didn't even matter who she picked, I guess.
Yeah,
exactly.
The thing with that is there's been so many fire making challenges over the years where there's been like a ton of wind or rain coming down as they're doing it. So like those are always like a grain of salt, like with that one. Like it's not like some of these people suck at doing it. It's like if you're getting poured on while you're trying to make fire, it's gonna be tougher.
Yeah, and this definitely had like, and like you said, Chris, like the Carolyn obviously became this character and the focus of the show. That they're not showing you certain aspects of like the other players' games that we probably would like to see. I also think it just boiled down to the fact that like people liked Jam Jam more. Like he just like made friends with people more, like Carolyn's brashness.
But that's the thing is,
I read an interview with her that she did an interview with Entertainment Weekly, and she was like, honestly, I was hurt that I didn't get a vote from Carson or Franny, and I am shocked that she didn't get one vote.
I think the mistake that she and Carson both made when Carson brings Jam Jam with him to get food, right? Like for that after winning the challenge at 5. How does Carolyn not try to organize the vote against Jam Jam? Like you have to like realize, like she was like, Lauren's the biggest threat, and it's like from what we've seen at home, Lauren hasn't done much besides winning what she wouldn't won.
But she had people on the jury that would vote for her, and she had won
did, but again, like I feel like the threat assessment of this group was shitty.
I do think that like, well, I just think it was a little bit more complicated. It wasn't like straight laced, because I do agree. I think that like ultimately like Lauren was more liked, and it's becoming clear the more I'm watching is that like if you're doing somewhat well, and Lauren had done somewhat well in the challenges, and you are liked, that is going to be a lot to carry you into it.
Probably the best before Tony Vlachos came along. Probably the best Survivor player was a guy who never won because he was so good at the game, but he was an asshole. Russell Hantz. He was so good at the game, and he was the first one to look for idols, and like before anyone would ever do that, like you waited for like the clue to look for an idol. Like he was just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna go out in the jungle and look for him. Like he changed the game. He was so much better at it than everyone. He manipulated everybody, but at the end, everyone fucking hated him for it. So like he never won.
Yeah.
And he's never coming back because he got angry and I think in an interview outside of Survivor said some shit.
Very little that separated Jam Jam and Carolyn's games, other than she was like manic. So in many ways, Heidi, I think, had a much better shot than people gave her credit for.
And I also think that Jam
she's the only one that survived against the Tika 3. Like it was just 3 Tika people that went to that whole group, and they were outnumbered by both sides. So they shouldn't have made it there. So every other person lost them except for Heidi. So that alone was an argument of her being.
There were a lot of bad jobs done as far as the voting committees throughout this season.
It's because everyone thought that the Tika 3 were a joke.
Which is always a mistake.
Made it great for great.
Yeah,
it was so much fun to watch.
Yeah,
and
it was
like
great.
it was. I'm so happy that they got to the final, and I thought that I thought that even though I was disappointed Carolyn didn't win, I was overall like still I thought Jam Jam was like a deserved winner.
Yeah.
And I thought the other thing was like I think Jam Jam is just like such a smooth talker.
Yes.
He is just like he's so disarming, and like it was so funny because Heidi had that thing where she was like, I'll be the first woman of color, not woman of color,
First
but like
Latino
older
scientist.
woman, first Latino woman to win.
Yeah, I'm like, what about Sandra?
And she made
like
that
Sandra's had the same issue. She won twice.
Yeah, I don't
He's like
know.
a legend in the game. It's kind of a thing.
So she made that, and then like Jam Jam had he like made the joke of like, if you vote for me, I'll be the first Puerto Rican man, and I was like, oh, he completely disarmed.
Well, I don't
Heidi's,
think he needed to do
like,
that
plea.
much, honestly, at that point to
Yeah.
to beat Heidi. It was just one of those things. Heidi's arguments didn't really make a whole lot of sense.
Do you think Carolyn could have done anything in that final tribal council to win? No, you
Probably
think their
not.
minds are made up?
I think
given
Carolyn,
she got 0 votes, probably not.
I
win
think
the whole thing.
Carolyn
Sure.
being so utterly useless at every challenge basically had sealed her deal. Truly, I believe the only way Carolyn would have won is if she did the fire making challenge.
Sure.
She wanted to, but
of course she needed to, because it was the only chance she had to actually win at something.
She didn't do a good job of hiding the fact that she was really good at fire making.
Everyone seemed to know she was
like
that
the
was
best
so.
at fire.
I love that when they're practicing and like that, like, oh, we'll go up against each other, and she like starts it immediately. And she's like, I won. I was like, you're the goat, man.
You gotta pretend you're shitty at it, and that way they want to bring you to it.
Yeah,
if you want to do fire.
And it's funny because I know you guys have complained about you guys are not a fan of the post show happening right immedially after the final tribal council.
I liked it better when
we like the post show happening. I just like that they cut to a live.
There's
no fundamental difference from the viewer perspective. Like, we got the show either way.
The difference is, from a viewer perspective, is just you get to find out like a couple months down the road what's going on with everybody instead of literally in the moment.
Right, which is a little bit more interesting because then I don't need to go online and be like, "Are these two still dating? What is happening with this?"
Like,
if I want to know
the post show is still right after either way. You don't have to go online. It would be all part of the same shit.
I looked it up, Tom. But
no,
you're saying you're on my side of this.
There's also another fundamental difference in that
never mind.
Now there's a big concern about spoilers and leaks because now there are a lot of people at the end of every season recording who know who wins. Whereas in the past, that was never the case because the winner wasn't even revealed to the winner until that moment live. So I really think we lose something as an audience by not having it in the old format. Also, I just like everyone looks all like nice except the 3 people who are still in the game and they look like fucking shit. Like, at least let the losers have like a shower or something. Like, come on. Franny and Matt are still together.
Good.
Yeah.
They're still very, very much together.
Excellent. You also get to see on the couple months later shows like, oh, like how's it been like back in your hometown?
Yes.
Like those fun questions.
Yes.
Like it's like, oh well, nobody cares, or like yeah, it's crazy. People come up to me and they're like, I saw you on the show and you're awesome.
And then there's more interesting fundamental questions you can ask people too, because no one gets to see any of the other conversations that happen. So when you get the original style of the post show, which took place later, all of the people have been watching their season. They're like, oh, this is why they came and talked to me about that. Or like, oh, wow, I totally had this person wrong. And then the conversations they're like, yeah, like we seemed like we hated each other. And now we see why. And like, that was bullshit. And like, we're cool now. Like, you can't have that.
But,
you also don't have the funny moment where Jeff goes like, all right, and we're gonna go back to LA, and then he just like walks into the jungle and comes out of a fake set.
Also, by the way, the audio like completely changes too. There's like no smooth transition.
But one of the things, I forget who had brought it up when you had said like having the post show like happen immediately after tribal council is like they're all just like all the people in the final 3 are having to react and do all these things after they've just had 26 days. And Carolyn in her interview was saying like, I hated it. I wanted to be gone. I hated having to sit there. They were all clean and we were like all old smelly dogs. Like, I didn't want to eat the pizza. The pizza sucked.
Like, it's terrible. It looks terrible.
It looks so bad.
It looked really cheap. It looks so cheap, dude.
What did they did something, the carrot cake thing last night made me laugh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He was like, usually it's chocolate. Now, my theory is they ran out of chocolate cake at the
I
hotel
think they had
/ resort.
both. I think they said they had
Well,
chocolate cake and carrot cake.
He said they had both. We don't see them both, right?
Oh, gotcha.
So like, I think he like gathered everyone before, and he was like, "Can you just be excited about the carrot cake? Just like, we don't have chocolate cake. Just be excited about the carrot cake. All right, go."
Maybe.
There we go.
Because I've never seen that many people excited about carrot cake. It's okay.
I love the I don't
Never
know if
had
they
it.
just do this every like Final Four, but the challenge with the balls in
They
the
do it a lot.
Yeah.
Not every
so
time.
I love
Yeah.
it.
But a lot.
I was
love that
surprised Carson didn't build one of those and practice that, because
That's what I said.
Like,
Yeah,
that
it
seems
seemed like something
one
he
of
would
the
have in
things
his
you
backyard.
Really want to practice,
Yeah.
you know, because
Yeah.
like that also seems like something that not only can you practice, but you could actually get really good at it. Because like I bet if you did that even a dozen times before you had to do it on like show, you would have a serious advantage.
Yeah.
You know, that's just muscle memory. Carolyn was so fucking bad at that.
I
She
the
is not
moment
even
they
gonna make
walked
it.
up, the moment they walked up there, I'll be amazed if she gets to a second ball. And you see her falter a little bit, even with just the
Dude,
one.
It was unbelievable. She was like, "Wait, left, then what? Right?"
Yeah. And Jeff's like that, being like, "Carolyn, it's left, right, left, right." It's like, oh, okay.
But imagine trying to concentrate on that, and you're listening to Jeff
Oh
drone
my
on like he always
God,
does, and you have
yes.
Carolyn making all of her noises. Like, it's got to be the toughest challenge.
Ah!
Oh, she's
Tuna,
great.
I think
The
love her.
immunity challenge
Tuna said out
before
loud,
that
he's like,
with-
I would be yelling at everyone to shut the fuck
oh
up.
my god, yeah. The
Yeah,
immunity
Tuna
challenge
could
before
knock
that with
me.
5 people was when she like couldn't get the thing off the pole.
Oh my God, that
the
kills
second they
me.
showed that challenge and they showed the thing on the
This
pole,
part,
I go
yeah.
to Therese, I go, Carolyn's not even getting off this part. And she almost did it. She almost
Yeah,
didn't
she
even get
was-
off of that
yeah.
part.
And then she was like, I just want to make it to the top of the stairs.
She has like no motor control. She just flails like a toddler. It's wild.
I wonder if she was always like that, or part of it's like the drugs over the years.
Who knows?
A combination of both. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because there are
His
some people who
character.
just aren't great at athletics.
Yeah, I think she's.
It was
she's
funny.
Just a
She
little
was
bit
like, I
of a
thought I
klutz.
was going to be good at it.
No, you didn't. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. What have you guys been doing, playing other than that?
Yeah, Dan, you playing anything other than Fall Guys, or how is Fall Guys stuff going?
MLB The Show's been like pumping out fucking new material like crazy, so I've been in that
What does that
Diamond
mean?
Dynasty mode. They just keep pumping out like new cards and programs and stuff that you can.
Okay.
It's basically like complete tasks to get the cards, and it wastes time. But yeah, a little bit of Fall Guys. They came out with another round of just creator maps, but it's all them creating the maps. They need to actually
Sure.
It's
put the
cheating.
player maps into play for it to be.
But these are like, in the Forge, like these are the 343 maps. And
Yeah, but eventually the plan is, I think, to put the user maps into
it's
play.
gotta be. Yeah, it's
but
gotta be.
like they have a few of them, and like one of them was fucking impossible.
They probably want to test them enough
yeah.
before they.
But yeah, I'm gonna start playing something soon. I'm not quite sure what it's gonna be, but I'm planning on streaming Saturday.
Ooh.
Just because I haven't streamed in a while, and I'm like, I need to. And I was gonna do Fall Guys if people are around. So if people want to do Fall Guys on Saturday, let me know.
Go jump in the Discord, let Dan know.
Yeah.
Me and Chris have been playing. We very
just played
quickly
some VR like before.
played
this.
some VR.
Okay,
and-
so here's the thing
boy.
related to that.
Yeah.
So I was told someone was trying to get me into anime, and I'm listening to them.
Okay.
I mean,
So
you
I
watched,
just watched
My Hero.
I watched My Hero, but I just watched the entirety of Sword Art Online
Oh
Okay, yeah, I've seen
boy.
that. Great show.
But
in like
Some
3
of it,
days.
at least.
The
So-
beginning
well,
of
not the
Sword Art
entirety,
Online
the
is
first
good.
season. Sorry, the first season. 'Cause,
Okay.
like, I don't have that much time on my hands, but
Yeah.
but it's still 25 episodes.
I mean, you should watch Attack on Titan.
But it scared me against VR. Like,
Have you seen it, Chris?
Yeah, I've watched Sword
Sword
Art
Art,
Online.
yeah. Yeah.
I've watched the first 2 seasons.
Uh
I now
Well,
have
it's
a
like its own
irrational
series.
fear.
Gun Gale.
I don't remember.
Yeah, it went from like Sword Art and then it went to
Something
Gun Gale,
about
I
it I
think.
thought was weird.
It-
with the
it
second
got-
one.
it dropped off in quality
It
after
also got like
yeah.
horny or something, I think.
It's anime.
I mean, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Sword Art. So what do you think?
It felt like the first season was basically 2 separate seasons, but
Yeah. It
uh,
because they get out of the VR.
they get
and then
well,
there's
yeah,
some
like the
other
first
shit
part
happens.
ends, and it's like this could easily be the end of a season, but they
It's
just
crazy how if I remember correctly, it's crazy how quickly they go from like because they have to get through like 100 levels of the game, and
yeah, but
then
they don't show you every
don't do
level.
that.
So like,
Yeah,
and they don't even
and
get
then
to
they
the
don't.
end.
Yeah, they get to like
Spoiler
75 or
alert.
something. Yeah,
Yeah,
for
they
fucking Sword Art Online. And anime, I do not recommend investing any time in because it just only the beginning half of season 1 is like worth watching, and then it's like.
But yeah, they
Left.
basically like he figures out that like the bad guy is like there with them, and he's like, "Oh, just beat me now, and it's over." And it's like, okay, we can. And I'm like, I thought there was another 15 episodes of this. This would be interesting.
Yeah.
And then
it radically like changes.
and then the show just flips on its head, and you're like, "Oh, okay,
yeah,
this is what
it's
we're doing
weird.
now."
Yep. Yep.
You should watch One Piece.
I'm not ready to invest that much time into anything.
First of all, there's One Pace. One Pace is great. It's going to cut down the episodes a lot. But what I think you should do, so I've convinced.
I'm already listening to one anime guide telling me what to watch. So
what I think you should do is watch the One Piece live action when that comes out, and then you switch to
just start with the live action.
Yeah, and then you start because the live action is going to take it. I mean, it can be 10 episodes. I know where it ends. I'm curious what episode that is in the anime. All right, so 10 episodes is going to cover 50 episodes of the anime.
Jesus Christ.
So I'm very excited about that.
Interesting.
More and more keeps coming out. The casting on this show is unbelievable. And some of the set photos that I've leaked are incredible. And the creator is like very involved and is like,
I think he said something of like, I have it in my contract that like it won't get put out unless I give it the thumbs up or something like that.
And he was like, he was saying that he like is really happy with it. So I'm like,
okay, good.
I've convinced Therese to watch the live action when that comes out.
I'm definitely gonna watch the live action when it drops, as long as it's good.
It is gonna be the wildest.
I was so stoked for Cowboy Bebop, and then
yeah,
the reviews of that dropped, and
this
immediately.
Is a different team though. There's a very
no. I'm not saying it's gonna be the same quality, but like if the reviews of One Piece come out and they're like, oh, this is Cowboy Bebop Part 2, like I might not watch it, but
I'm still gonna watch it,
good.
but just for like the fact that like there's just
up.
so many things about this anime that should not work in live action that I'm just so curious what this thing is gonna fucking be.
Yeah, hopefully it looks good.
So wild. I mean,
hopefully because
they built
like
a 2-scale like ships. They built the fucking like they built Luffy's main ship. They built this like giant restaurant ship. They like full size ships that they were filming on. It's
That's
fucking
cool.
nuts, dude.
I'm more worried about like his powers and stuff like that, and like if they're gonna look any good.
The thing I'll tell you about Luffy's powers, because he's like a rubber man, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Unlike Mr. Fantastic, where his whole thing is he stretches and changes shape and does all this, Luffy's is much more like a rubber band where like you stretch and it snaps. So like the actual stretch part is usually like pretty fast, you know, because it's much more about that like reflex. So I think if they do it really stylishly, it'll work. But man, it is some Looney Tunes looking weird shit though on that show. So seeing it in person is gonna be. There's like a character that's a clown that can like break his body into like a bunch of pieces.
I read
who's
that
like made of smoke. Like these people are going to be in the first season, which is already blowing my mind. I don't know how it's going to translate, but I'm so excited to see it. It's going to be psychotic. I'm going to see something very cool this weekend, Saturday morning. I'm going to AMC theaters, and I'm going to see The Land Before Time in theaters, and I'm very excited.
Live action.
That'd be fucking
yeah,
so weird. Do like a Lion King hyper realistic animated version of Land Before Time. Would be fucking weird to see dinosaurs.
I think it'd be funnier just watching people as actors play the dinosaurs without costumes on.
Like the show Dinosaurs.
No, I just mean like straight up ignoring the fact that they're not dinosaurs, but they're all acting like they are. Like this guy's name is just Littlefoot.
Yeah. I mean, you
There
could
you go.
totally do that and just not pretend that they're dinosaurs and then just make it this really fucking weird,
That sounds like the
post-apocalyptic looking
80s
world.
Super Mario Brothers movie.
Yeah, that's exactly the kind of aesthetic it would need. To
That-
work
yeah,
too.
that-
I
that sounds
totally
good.
watch that shit. Actually, now that
I
we're
know you
saying
would.
this.
I know you
It
would.
sounds
I know you
fucking
would.
sick, dude.
I would
It'd be
watch it
awesome.
because I'm just curious how they would deal with anything that happens.
Like, what's the sharp tooth? Is the sharp tooth just some big
Some
fucking
dude with a
dude?
sharp
Like,
tooth?
he, I feel like he's got to have like a car or something. He's got to have like a monster truck that's got like teeth or something on the front of it. Like, it's got to be like a real like fucked up Mad Max kind of world. Is sort of what it's got to be, I think, for that to work. Everyone's searching for the Great Valley. It'd be awesome. I'll watch it. Great idea, Dan. Well, you put
I
the deck
expect
together. We'll
residuals.
start pitching it. It'll be awesome.
So we played some VR right
Yeah.
before.
Oh God, that's how that got introduced. Right.
Yeah. We played Nock, which is essentially Rocket
there?
League. It's spelled Nock because it is a Rocket League with bows and arrows. Basically, you're not driving a car; you're playing as you. Although you're playing what seems to be like a bowling pin mixed with an inflatable arm.
Yeah, it's
Man,
like
is like the shape.
it's like the little flubber guys had sex with like the Fall Guys,
Sure.
you know,
So they're horny Fall Guys?
because they're all like, ooh, like
Yeah,
the,
yeah. You're quite rubbery, quite
flubber.
flubbery. But you are moving. It's played like Rocket League. There is a giant ball. It's in a like not spherical, but like a big box that has rounded edges. So those
It's like the exact same salary as Rocket
yeah.
League.
But you are obviously in VR and you're shooting the ball with a bow and arrow.
Yep.
Instead of you can hit it with your body, like it will bounce off of you, but the main way that you're knocking this ball about is with the bow and arrow. And the knock is speaking, I guess, both to knocking the ball, but also yes, exactly like that, Dan. But also like knocking an arrow into a bow. And it is so much fun. We had an absolute blast playing this game. And primarily because they nail the movement mechanics.
Oh my God.
And it's almost like kind of low gravity skiing. So you're kind of like pulling yourself forward and like swinging your arm back and you're propelling yourself, and even the legs of the creature that you're embodying is like skating.
In low gravity must feel like, because you can
you can also
you
can also like jump too. You can also do like big jumps and stuff, and it works so well. It's unbelievable.
It's so much fun. I mean, anytime I have to like catch up with the ball, and I can like get ahead of it and turn around and fucking like shoot at it. It feels like I'm in a superhero movie. Like, and you're getting to do these action movie poses that, like, man, when I played Pistol Whip and I thought I felt cool like John Wick, this makes me feel like I'm like a Hawkeye, like I'm in like a Marvel movie. Like I want these controls in a game.
Yeah,
like
totally. And it's the one I'm very like aware of the space that I'm in when playing other VR games, and this one I was not.
Yeah,
I was like constantly bumping into the shit around me. I can't wait to take it down to the basement lounge and play it there.
I'm glad you have that.
Oh yeah, well, it's gonna be so much fun. We'll have to play
the single cable. It's not that big.
After you get back from Land Before Time, we'll have to play a ton on this weekend because I'm gonna play. But yeah, it works so well. It works way better than I thought. The only like it's difficult. I would say me and Chris really struggled playing against other people, mainly because the game only gives you like 3 hours at a time, and kind of like how in Rocket League
you only
have to
start with
pick
one.
Oh, you only start with one? Oh, really? I thought you started with 3.
You have to pick up,
yeah, you have to pick up, kind of like how you have to pick up boosts in Rocket League. There are additional arrows spread across the map, and you can very quickly run out of arrows. And initially you're like, oh, why do they do this? But then you as you're playing, you're realizing that there has to be like an element of not being able to just keep like spamming it. But I don't know. How do you feel about the balance of it? Because I think that not only we, but the people we were playing against were like getting frustrated as to how maybe it just is a thing of like more timing, more time with the game. Like we'll get better at picking
Yeah,
them
we
up.
need to coordinate better. I mean, the team that beat us last, I mean, the teams we played, Tom, when we were losing, they all had like strategies. So they've been playing enough.
Sure.
Like literally one of them was like staying back at the mid center the whole time while the other one just tried to get it in front of the net so that he could then shoot it in.
Yeah.
And then another team, they had that like the ball would
Double
drop and
jump,
they both
yeah.
went for it so they could hit it at the same time and get a ton of, so like we just have to be able to coordinate, but like we still have to get good enough at just moving around to be able to pick up arrows. Like we probably need to put like another hour into the game before we're like competent at it. It would be my guess.
Gotta get good.
But it is unbelievably fun. It is so much more fun than I ever could have imagined that game was going to be. I know you were talking big about it, Tom. You've been very excited for that game to come out, but
just the idea
really
of it
blew me
sounded
away.
great. I hadn't even really, I saw like maybe 2 seconds of footage and I was like, oh, what a cool idea. That'll be a lot of fun. And the other thing that's great about it is like it's one of the cheaper PSVR 2 games. It's only $20.
It feels like a real game though. Like,
oh no, totally.
Like in the way Rocket League does. That,
and
like,
it has a battle pass, which I think they've unlocked for everyone. Like the first season, I think is going to be like totally free for everyone. So that's nice. You get those cosmetics and stuff. Yeah, it was great. Did you play any because Beat Saber also?
Yeah, I wanted to try Beat Saber out. I didn't realize you have to like buy all the songs and everything.
It comes with a bunch of free songs.
Yeah, but not anything I want to listen to.
Oh, it's the music in Beat Saber is good. Like the bass stuff is good.
I mean, it seemed fine, but like I want to get the Weekend.
Sure.
The Weekend doesn't want to be called the Weekend anymore.
I thought they were doing one more album at the Weekend.
Yeah, but like, he's changing his name.
So they do want to be the Weekend still, and then
now,
and then they're probably going to operate under a different name or their actual name, or
it's kind of dumb nothingness.
Well, I mean, it's probably like if you look at Lady Gaga, like she completely changed her style. She doesn't do pop music. Like Taylor Swift has done like totally different styles. Sometimes like they just want to not do that style of music anymore, and it's just easier to be like, hey, I'm gonna change my artist name because then no one's gonna be like, oh, like this isn't like the Good Weekend stuff. It's like, yeah, this isn't the Weekend anymore.
Well, what's
like,
gonna happen
is done.
What's gonna happen is he's gonna put stuff out and everyone will be like, who the fuck is that?
It'll be like how
except
Kanye
he's gonna put stuff out and have the
then...
weight of all of his famous friends and backing of like studios and things like that, and everyone will know who it is.
We'll see.
It's not going to be
if it's good.
Yeah, if it's good, but we won't. I mean, that's so far down the road. He still has to put out his next album as the Weekend. Like
he's like, I'm changing my name to the Weekday.
Oh, Weekday! Yeah. Oh my god. So did you play any of?
I played one. It was awesome.
Okay.
It's fucking intense. It's like really fast. It's really, really fast.
Oh, you gotta play on double speed. That's how I eventually got to play. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Double speed, baby.
That's nuts.
Maybe
double
the music's
speed,
better on
immediate
double speed?
fail. It surprisingly, actually, yes. Like it works. At least
you said the music's good. He said the music's not good. You're playing at double speed, so I'm like, maybe double speed makes the music better.
I mean, the music is not like amazing music. Like all of the stuff by actual artists that you can buy in the game is obviously better music, but I think that the bass tracks are still fun to play. You got to play more and let me know what you think, how you get into it. It's also a great workout.
I can totally see how that is the case. I had a lot of fun playing it. I'm excited to play more. Right now, I'm just thinking about playing Nock. I also really want to play mini golf again because the VR mini golf is so much like real mini golf.
Brooke will be down for a VR day this weekend for sure.
I want to play mini golf with you, not just Brooke.
No, we can play this weekend too.
I got to go back on that course that Therese was playing on with Brooke because I'm sure I'm missing.
Balls. Yeah.
I got to go find the balls.
Yep.
Could we talk about Zelda for a little bit?
Let's definitely talk about Zelda for a little bit because
I'm gonna check out.
So much has changed since last week. Since we talked.
Well, where are you? What is your current What have you completed?
Yes.
What is your? Do you know what your shrine count is?
I don't. Let me see what my shrine count is. I have played. I've beaten one. Can I find the shrine count in one of the menus, or is it just on the title screen?
I think it's on one of the pause menus, right?
Oh, it could be in.
Like when you teleport.
Oh yeah, let me teleport. Let me do that. I have beaten one of the regional phenomena, the
Great,
Rito,
the first one.
the one that is meant to be beaten first.
I think you might have to do that one first. I could be
You
wrong.
don't. We
Oh,
don't.
okay.
Yep.
Well,
you do not have
it seems
to do it
dumb
first.
to do any other one first.
It does. It does. But that is also kind of how Breath of the Wild was. There was like, I forget which one. Might have been the Zora, but one of them is like definitely intended to be the
It was.
first.
I'm pretty sure it's the Rito one also.
It was also Rito.
I'm pretty sure because that's how you got the like Rivali scale, so you can like. Which, by the way, I miss that so much. Like, I would much rather have Rivali's Gale blast me upwards than get the
the gust
sideways
that blasts you
boost.
forwards.
Yep. I don't know why they can't make the gust go like up if I'm like standing on the ground. It should just do that automatically.
Yeah, I do agree with that. I thought, okay, let me see. We have 57 shrines.
Okay, great. So you're
Yep.
almost caught up. So I did a ton of shrines at the beginning, and then I basically stopped. So I'm only hitting them now if I run into them. I marked a ton on the map that I haven't gone to, but I'm at only 70 shrines now. So, or like 71 or something like that. Barely ahead of you.
I really liked the Rito storyline and adventure. The ultimate like temple that we got to is, as you had mentioned, very much like a divine beast.
Yeah,
but
it's a little bit more temple-y, but
yeah, I think the other ones are meant to be a bit more involved. I haven't gotten to any of them yet. I'm currently in the middle. I've gotten distracted again because there's things here and there, and there's things that I want to grab and stuff.
yeah.
But I'm kind of in the middle of doing the Zora one right now.
Oh, I'm doing the Gerudo
Goron.
one.
Yeah. Gerudo. Okay.
Yeah, I'm in the Lightning Temple. I just entered it.
Oh, very nice. I think that one is meant to be like more of a temple. But I liked the fact, you had mentioned like part of the like getting to the temple is part of the experience itself, and I enjoyed all of that. I thought that was fantastic, and I loved it playing into the lore that they have, this like old like legend that the Rito have of this this thing and how that manifests. I thought that was so cool. I thought the boss fight was like such a fucking fun, even though it was pretty easy. I thought it was epic and way better than the Ganon Blights. Oh my god.
Cool. Yep.
And then the great thing is, and it's something that I implore, like if you're playing the game and you still haven't done a phenomena, like I do implore you to do one because it unlocks so many quests and other things. It also
unlocks abilities that like it feels like you should have.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, you can find a lot of the stuff without, I guess, necessarily having to like do these quests, but they obviously like point you in the direction. More stuff in the depths, and I've kind of done a complete 180 on the depths. I actually adore it. It's so cool.
Have you done the rest of the geoglyphs yet?
No, not all of them. I've gotten a couple more.
I don't think they're built to be done like late game.
I'm not trying to do them late game, but I'm not necessarily going. If I see them, like I immediately like I'm like geoglyph, and I don't think I have a ton left. I've probably done more than I have left. Some of the stuff it's teasing, and funnily enough, rewatching because Brooke started playing, rewatching her play the opening, and now knowing some of the things I know and seeing some of the things that it's setting up, I'm like, holy shit, where is this story gonna go? And I'm just kind of like savoring a little bit. I kind of like I'm still like, oh, I'm so tantalized by where Zelda's story in particular is going to go and how that's going to play out. But yeah, like once you get into the depths and you're mining Zonite way more and you're upgrading the battery well, you're doing more of these interesting.
What's your battery well at?
I have another full, so I have 2 full batteries. Yeah,
I am 1 block away from having 3 full batteries. I have 2 and 2.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah,
very nice.
Yeah.
I like how the game though, like
I
obviously
found an
gives
area
you
that I got like a lot of the large zonite from, which was
very
really
nice.
helpful.
Yeah.
I might like chill on that now that I'm about. Once I get 3, I might be like kind of good
For a
because
while.
I don't need to just be like grinding zonite, you know.
Yeah, and the game gives you plenty of tools to get by with, you know, you can get batteries from the
Yeah.
Zonai devices. Like, I think it's, you know, unless you want to build like these really crazy builds that you're seeing online, you know, you don't have
Yeah.
to necessarily have a shit ton of batteries.
I'm mostly avoiding those. Like every now and then I see some, but I'm mostly just seeing things that are sent to me because I enjoy coming up with my own things, and like
Yeah,
seeing
totally.
too many of them, like I just don't want it to be like telling me, like making me like, I don't know.
Yeah,
It doesn't
coming
feel
up
like
with
I'm
your
doing
own
anything
solutions. Yeah,
original
yeah.
then as much, you know. At some point, like once I probably like beat the game, I'm gonna start to look at what everyone else is doing. But until then, I'm trying to avoid stuff still. Sorry, the cat's in here.
No, good.
So
Yeah, so how are you feeling about where
I
you
mean, I'm
how you
loving it.
doing? Yeah.
After the last temple, I was like, all right, I need to now go because I spent the beginning of the game just picking up an insane amount of side quests and adventures
Yeah.
while I was doing all the shrines and towers and geoglyphs. I did all of that immediately. I was like, I'm going to do a bunch of shrines until I have 2 full like stamina and at least 6 hearts. And I'm going to do all the geoglyphs and towers. So that was how I played the game. Then I did the first quest line. Then I was like, all right, I'm going to start to catch up on stuff. And exploring the deaths and shit, I have run into so many things that I'm just getting like one fucking shot from, even with like 12
really?
hearts sometimes.
Wow.
So recently I was like, I haven't done any of the great fairy things. So that like a couple days ago, I was like, all right, I got to get all the great fairies so I can upgrade my armor. So now I upgraded my armor. But then I could only upgrade it once because I didn't have enough stuff. So then I had to go out and I had to go like farm some stuff so I could upgrade my armor again. So now I got 2 of my armors fully up to the second set. So now I can like fight dudes without just getting like absolutely clobbered in like a hit. And I got the one that lets me fall without damage.
Yep.
I got the flight suit. Tom, it is so much fucking fun to just dive off from a sky island, not have to use the just slam into the ground and you're fine because he just he just like lands. You just land. It's so cool.
Yeah,
it's so cool having no.
Have you done Lurlin Village? The fishing village and like the bottom south.
Okay, so that was the fight that made me go and get the armor because that was after I got my ass handed to me there again. I was like, I mean, I had good enough weapons to fight people, but I had no good way to protect myself.
You get overwhelmed there pretty easily. Yeah,
I got blasted, and I was like, okay, so that was I haven't gone back. I bet
that
I could take
area,
no problem now.
That area took me a while because I was also like watching because Brooke was playing on the TV and she was in the opening area and she needs a lot of like, you know, guidance with it. And so like I was trying to like play both and I was just like kept getting my ass kicked there and it was so fucking frustrating.
The cool thing though is like if you're having trouble with the combat, you can just be like, all right, cool. I'm just gonna go shrine hunt to get hearts and go like fucking collect stuff and upgrade my armor. And then I'm gonna get a bunch of good shit and then I'll come back and do this later because it's basically what I did. I hadn't done any of those like monster hunt, like the monster group fights.
Monster group fight. Oh, with the monster,
dude, they're so cool.
I haven't done any of those.
Oh my god, there's like one right outside of Hyrule and one that's like near Hateno. You should go do like those. You should go back to the guy, go talk to the guy in Hyrule underground. He'll tell you like where those groups are
in Hyrule.
The landing, Lookout Landing.
Oh, Lookout Landing.
Yeah, like he's in the safe house, like underground.
Right, and he and the monsters. There are 3 like monsters. Yeah.
It's really cool to go like rush in with a group of people, and they've got like pitchforks and like rusty swords and shit, and you're fighting them.
That's awesome.
And there's a bunch of humans fighting alongside you, dude.
That's great.
And then of course the blood moon resets it, and that's like part of their story. They're like, oh well, we're camped out here. They're like, because like the blood moon's gonna come back, and then we're gonna have to fight again. Like, so they're just in this endless fight with the fucking.
Oh, that's awesome! Shit,
it's so cool.
Because I've come across like one dude fighting a bokoblin or something, and then I come in and like save the day, and they're like, oh, thanks for helping me out. But that sounds dope, and I mean, that the game is so satisfying, and like I'm so happy. I'm so happy that it's as good as it is.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
I wish the controls had been done better. The
No,
interface stuff was done better, but whatever.
Yes. Yeah. Least of my problems.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time doing quests and adventures, and I kind of want to get back to doing that again. I knocked out a bunch because I felt like I had accumulated too many without like doing them. So I was like, all right, cool, I'm gonna do this. After I do this temple, I'm gonna go back to doing that again and then get some more shrines before I do another temple. But one of my favorite quests by far is from Hudson in Tarrytown. Tarrytown is such a cool place.
I just basically added that to the map. Yeah,
such a cool place. Hudson has a really fun quest where you use your camera and stuff. It's really, really, really cool. I don't remember if they did something like this in Breath of the Wild, because there's been a bunch of stuff that I just forgot about Breath of the Wild because it's been so long.
Yeah,
but man, I love it.
Yep.
And I still love the Sky Islands. I realized there are a couple archipelagos I hadn't gone to, so I was like, I'm gonna do those after I do this temple. Have you done any of the spheres in the sky?
Yeah.
Dude, the spheres.
Yeah.
Have you done any of the mazes?
I haven't done any of them yet because I got to one and I was like, and it was like right around the time, because it was there's one in near Rito Village and like all that. Yeah. And I was like, I really want to savor this because I remember when I stumbled across this in Breath of the Wild, it's like one of my highlights from that. And I wanted to get the Rito Village thing knocked out, and then I just kind of never got back to it. But funnily enough, I am near one now.
Nice.
Oh, I loved that. When I stumbled across
I'm near one right now. I went and activated the shrine thing there so I can go back, but I haven't done it. So because I wanted to save it too, but I saw there were a few of them, so I might do one after the time. I'm just so excited. There's so much still left for me to do in this game.
So much, dude.
I've put in an incredible amount of time, especially because like I didn't really have a lot of work to do like at the start of the last week, like right after it came out, and Therese was away. So I literally spent like 2 or 3 days in a row. I probably played it like 12 hours.
Yeah.
I probably put in like 20 to 30 hours over you know just a couple days. Like it was a problem, to be honest. I was up till 3 a.m. one night.
So. Oh wow, pushing it to 3.
So I love it. We'll talk more about it.
Before we get into news and stuff, there's another game that I've been playing that unfortunately is not as good as
the Gollum.
Lord of the Rings Gollum.
This is what Dan should be playing.
I think is sitting at, oh my god. Oh, Dan, you should play it for your stream. Oh, that would be good content.
What is this game?
It is Lord of
the Rings from Gollum's point of view.
Yep, it's Gollum.
Actually, yes, that's
exactly. It's guys. It's the untold story, the story you all needed to know.
So what the story that like Tolkien didn't even tell.
What happened to Gollum after he got kidnapped by Sauron and tortured into telling the Dark Lord who had the ring? What happened to him between that and meeting up with Frodo in the Two Towers?
The least interesting part of the story. They didn't even include it in the movies about the walking.
This game, I'm telling you right now, the marketing team and everyone involved with this game, I'm really sorry. Swallow your pride. Pivot to meme content with this game, because this game is so disastrously terrible. I have played.
Collect as many precious as you can on your way.
GameSpot gave it a 2 out of 10. A lot of places giving it like 4 out of 10s. I think some of the places.
You know who's loving this? The Redfall developers.
I know, right? They're like, oh god, thank God. Redfall looks like a fucking mess. I played like a couple of hours of Redfall and was like, it's fine. Redfall is like a fucking masterpiece compared to this game. Someone that we were talking with in circles had 130 crashes during their full playthrough.
That's pretty low.
This was supposed to come out years ago. Like they showed this off.
I'm pretty sure I drafted it like years ago.
It was the first.
You did, Dad.
It was the first game announced for next generation consoles. It is only available on next generation consoles. It looks like a PS2 game.
Oh boy.
The thing I was running into crashes. I was running into crashes over and over again because I had toggled on, and I shit you not, Gollum's hair physics. That's a toggleable.
He doesn't have a lot of hair.
But
like 3 hairs.
what there is, you can toggle the hair physics on, and let me tell you this: it'll crash your PS3 like the PS5.
Has anyone
like this.
speedrun crashing the game?
Yeah, probably. It is the most basic, and then the gameplay is like the most basic thing ever. It is Gollum scrambling along walls, jumping across like gaps,
Who made
hiding in the
this?
shadows.
It's not gonna be it.
Nacon, I think, is the publisher. Daedalic
Akon?
Entertainment.
How does this
Nacon is
happen?
the name. How does this happen? You
How
got
do
to
you
go
get an
look
IP
at some
like
of
this
the.
and do
You,
this?
Is Nacon just Akon, the singer who just started his own like community with all his own money and was like,
Yeah.
I need to make a game?
I mean, maybe it gives big vibes like that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you got to make this. You got to look at some of the like the
Wow.
font choices, the audio in the game, all of the sounds. Like the sound design is terrible. It plays like shit. Like it isn't. The climbing sucks. Like it is. There are, from everything that I've experienced, absolutely zero redeeming qualities of this game.
Yeah, because even the graphics you're saying aren't great. So it's not like, oh, cool, I want to go see like Rivendell, like
No,
in
yeah, no,
PS5
and you're
graphics.
mostly just like fucking around in Mordor, like for most of the game, you know.
That's
So
I'd rather play a
it's
game
just
called
like
Fucking Around in Mordor.
it's just like you know, just like fucking dark, craggy shit, you know. Like it isn't even.
They should pivot this, Tom, and make it Gollum Simulator, like Goat Simulator, but in Mordor.
That's what
That
I'm
is what it should be.
They need to
You're
they
right.
need to they should pivot
I mean,
into like a memeable,
I'm
yeah, making it
imagining
like a goat
it's
simulator.
like Stray, but
Yeah.
instead of a cat, you're Gollum.
But like,
No, but Stray was like a competent, like just
Yeah,
platformer.
like,
this is
yeah, whatever you think about Stray, like
No,
it's
I'm
a
saying
way
that's what
better
they should
game.
make this into.
Well, I mean, they, and that's the thing is like we got the call in like Slack, and they were like, "Who wants to play the Golem game?" And I was like,
Me.
"I'm morbidly curious about it," and I regret because now I've been roped into this. Because we're part of the fandom group, we do honest game trailers. Like one of the sites like does honest game trailers or whatever, and they're doing one, and now I have to play more to capture it. And I'm like, oh god, can I quit? Like, can I quit my job? Like, I really don't want to play any more of this fucking game. Oh man, it is so bad. But go look up on social media like all the images. It's so fucking funny. One of the missions seems to be you have to get two birds to mate. Like that's it's
As Gollum?
Yeah, he had. Yeah,
He has like, is he like holding two birds, like pushing them together like dolls?
Yeah, I didn't read too much into it. There's a ton of shit out there. I have not played much more than like the opening mission, mainly because I couldn't get through it. Just like crashes and shit like that. Yeah, it is disastrous.
If you've enjoyed this mini pre-review of it, you can pre-purchase the game for $50.
But they have deluxe editions of the game. Like they have like $120 version of this game with like emotes and shit like that. Oh man.
The trailer makes it look better than PS2, like PS3 probably.
The trailer is lying.
And no, I'm looking at screenshots now. The screenshots of PS3.
The trailer is lying. People have been like showing PS3. Like the stuff that's been in trailers and then comparing it to like what's in the final game, and they totally like even though the trailers didn't look that good, like the game itself looks way worse than any of the trailers.
Because I remember one of the things they kept talking about was like, wait till you see how amazing this looks.
Oh my god.
Holy shit.
Buy the Lord of the Rings Gollum Precious Edition.
Yep, the Precious Edition.
Oh, it comes with so much shit. Because they know it's garbage.
Wow, it is really ugly. All right. Well, fuck this game. We don't need to give it more time. Let's get into the news. But let's not stay there forever because we do have some mail. But let's do it, which I only say because there's a lot of news.
The biggest news is the PlayStation Showcase. Were you keeping up with this one, Chris?
Yeah, I watched most of it. I forgot it was happening.
I happened to watch it too.
So I tuned in a little late.
Chance.
But yeah.
Yeah, same. I saw Noah was streaming, and I was like, oh, cool. I can see what he's streaming. He's just
like
streaming the showcase. I was like,
oh,
yeah. So like, I was like, okay, cool. So I guess I'm watching this.
I mean, the big headline was Spider-Man 2. We got gameplay of that, as we expected, considering it is really the only next big release we have any idea about. It showed off a cinematic trailer showing off Kraven, basically, coming to New York, and one of the new like enemy faction you're going to be fighting is like Kraven's minions. And then it showed off Black Suit Spidey gameplay. And this looked fun as hell. It looked so fucking cool. Have either of you played 2018's or Miles Morales?
Yeah, I played Miles Morales.
Right. What did you think of this one, Chris?
I'm very excited because I will say, so the thing about Miles Morales is he has a lot. Dang, you see Spider-Verse?
Yeah.
So like he has more powers than regular Spider-Man. So when I played the Miles Morales game, I was like, oh, this is actually like, it's the reason even though I
in
bought
his
it.
universe, he is the regular Spider-Man.
Not anymore.
Oh, not anymore. Now it changed.
Well, he's now in he no longer is in that universe.
No, but where he came from.
And Into the Spider-Verse, I guess he's now the Spider-Man.
Yeah, but he wasn't. There was a Spider-Man that preceded
There was
him
a Peter Parker Spider-Man.
in
well,
his
that's right
universe.
too. You're right.
So I had bought the 2-pack when the PS5 came out that had Miles Morales and the PS5 version of the
Remastered,
first Spider-Man.
right, yeah.
And I just never went back and played it because I was like, oh, I'm going to basically play the same game on a bigger scale, which like I don't really need. Like I actually loved the length of Miles Morales, but also on top of that, like I'm going to have less abilities. I was like, I am really curious how they're going to, with Spider-Man 2, make me go back to Peter Parker and have less stuff I can do. And then, of course, Venom. And now I get symbiote Spider-Man, and I get all these new fucking powers. And I'm like, okay, I'm in. Here we go. And am I going to be able to play as Miles as well in this? It looks like you're going to be swapping between them.
Yeah, so in the gameplay trailer, you swap. They were swapping between them.
That's what it looked like.
Yeah, you'll be playing as both of them. It seems like in story missions and stuff, you're going to. I mean, I'm sure there will be some story missions where it's like, oh, you can hot swap between the two anytime.
Yeah.
But this one looked very like, okay, now you have to play as Miles, now you have to play as Peter. But I'm sure in the open world and stuff, you'll be able to switch. And thanks to the power of the PS5, it's instant switching, no loading. Yes. Like you're immediately just there, which is cool.
Yeah. We'll find out.
Yeah, I mean, it looked cool. It
should like Ratchet and Clank. The way you could switch with stuff was
right. That was the biggest announcement, and honestly, I would say there was a lot of cool stuff to see at the PlayStation Showcase, but I think that the overall sentiment was a little lackluster comparative to previous showcases that we've had.
But it's not a E3, right? And then there's still Summer Games Fest and Gamescom, so there's other opportunities for them to show stuff off. But I thought, I mean, as someone who has PSVR, there was quite a few things they showed off. I mean, they were like Beat Saber out now.
No, they showed
Resident Evil 4.
They showed off a ton of stuff, and a lot of it looked good. I also think a lot of it looked very similar to one another, which is a problem that a lot of showcases have been having recently. Sure. But comparative to like the last showcase where they announced Spider-Man 2, they announced Wolverine. We saw a first look at.
Oh, no, they announced Spider-Man 2 like 4 years ago.
In 2021, they announced Spider-Man 2.
All right, 2 years ago.
And they announced it along with Wolverine, back to back.
Okay.
We got our first look of Ragnarok gameplay there. This is the first PlayStation someone was pointing out online. This is the first PlayStation showcase in a long time. We have not seen a new first-party IP from PlayStation. We saw some multiplayer stuff, but like from like their studios making single player stuff, like we didn't see anything new, which was really interesting. And I think a lot of people were expecting, because we didn't get a showcase last year, for this to really be like, here is what is coming up for the console for the next like year, 2 years. Yep. But it really just showed off Spider-Man. It showed off a lot of third-party stuff, and then
probably because development just takes so long now.
Yeah, maybe they're just playing cards close to their chest. You know, one of the advantages I think PlayStation has also had has been that their games don't really get delayed. I mean, God of War got delayed a year, but then once they gave a date, like they stuck to it. I think that's also what they're doing with Spider-Man 2, which they didn't reveal a date, which seems kind of wild. But Ragnarok, when that was coming out, they didn't announce a date for that until like a couple of months
It's
before.
almost like they understand
came
they
out.
can't afford to have these games launch and be broken.
No, yes.
Unlike other game developers who just think it's fine to just ship broken games.
Yeah.
Guys, if you don't like it
Look
now,
at
just
you,
wait 5 years.
Golem developers. And that's the beauty of like PlayStation games. You know, when those first party titles hit, like they're gonna work, which thank God.
Which is true
yeah.
in Nintendo as well, except for like online features. But those will never really work. So
we are getting a remake of Metal Gear Solid 3 called Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake
Oh,
Eater.
that's supposed to be a delta. It's a triangle. What the fuck's that?
Yeah, it's
Metal Gear
Delta.
Solid Triangle.
Are you guys Metal Gear Solid fans? at all?
No, I hate it. Personally.
There you go.
I was always actually kind of interested by MDS5. I had that
Great
one
game.
seemed the most interesting to me.
Yeah.
However, at that point, I was just kind of like, I'm just not getting
Yeah.
PS4.
I played
I'm
2
sure
and it
it's
turned me off to
PS5.
the whole thing.
So
Which one?
I played 2 back in the day and it turned me off to the whole series.
Wow. The like Metal
one
Gear
that everyone
Solid 2
loved.
is like
The one that everyone says
the
amazing.
probably the most accessible like Metal Gear Solid. That's wild. That's
until
crazy.
maybe 5, because 5 became much more of an action
Five
game.
is accessible. I would actually say also 4 is accessible as well. It's a very linear like third person shooter, like very heavy on the action. And 5 is just kind of overwhelming because it's an open world stealth game. I mean, it's incredible. There's almost nothing like it out on the market. The thing
Like
with
the
Metal Gear
Gollum game.
Solid the thing with this remake though is Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater is probably the most obtuse out of all of them. It's very stealth heavy, like literally like to the minutia of you have to change like what camouflage styles you have in order to blend in with your
I have
environment.
no interest in that.
I loved it when I played it. I it's a very beloved game. But it is also one like if you're gonna reboot the franchise and have people jump in, like you better hope that this knocks it out of the park because it's probably the one that's gonna put people off the most. They're also re-releasing the original first 3 games, Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 3, in a pack. They're coming out in August. It's going to be they're calling it Master Collection Volume 1. So if you want to play the original games, which are very tough to get because of licensing deals, Konami is making it. We do not know the team. I know, that's what everyone's wondering because they haven't said who the team is. It's just called like Metal Gear Solid 3 development team.
This company basically decided they're not making video games anymore, like a handful of years ago. Like essentially, like they never completely, but they basically closed up shop.
They've only made like Pro Evolution Soccer. Like that's the only real
machines. They were making pachinko machines.
Yes.
Like they basically pivoted because their company. I think their board was like, we make a lot lot money on the
pulled an
pachinko
opposite
machines.
Sega.
So
Konami
just do
Konami
this.
makes
Wait, did they pull an opposite Sega?
Basically.
Well, Konami's gaming business has always been relatively small comparative to everything else that they make.
Sure.
They make pachinko machines. They make workout equipment. They make a lot. They're kind of like Sony. They have a lot of different technological products.
I wasn't
so
aware of that.
Yeah, gaming has always been like a small part of their business. And then, they basically shuttered it. The Metal Gear Solid Survive, which was apparently a terrible game, was like the last real game other than the Pro Evolution Soccer games that they've been putting out every year. That's been it. And now it seems like I think what's probably happened is that there's a lot of love for that franchise. There's also Castlevania. Silent Hill is a Konami franchise. And I think they've looked at, and we know we're getting a Silent Hill 2 reboot. They probably looked at what Capcom's been doing with Resident Evil and thought, hey, there's money to be made here. Let's just fucking reboot this shit. Let's remake all these games. So
I mean, the Resident Evil 4
remake money
that they showed in VR looked so fucking good.
Yeah, it really did. Yeah,
and that's
I'm
the
so
kind of stuff
stoked to play.
That's gonna be incredible on the PSVR 2. Also, like I'm definitely gonna play that. But they had a bunch of other games that looked good on PSVR 2. The one that also stuck out to me in a big way was Synapse. Because
that one looked great.
it's really like stylized, and it looks influenced by like control. You apparently are
Yep.
invading people's minds, and so you have like psychic abilities, so you can like move and use like telekinesis and stuff, but you also just have a gun, so you're just like blasting people.
God, I
Like,
loved Control so
it's basically
much.
like FPS, like Psychonauts.
Yeah.
Kind of sounds sick.
Yeah, Synapse look good. The stuff I think this is their best showing of PSVR 2 stuff that they've had
Which came right
since
after
launch.
they also showed numbers that showed it's selling better, 8% better than the first PlayStation VR did, which, by the way, there's like 8 million less PS5s than there were PS4s at the time.
Yeah.
So it's selling at almost 10% higher with almost 20% less consoles. So that's actually pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's doing fine. I think that
And there's a lot of games for it, which is really the main thing. Like,
there is a lot to play on it. I wonder how, like, because if you look at that graph, it's kind of plateauing faster than the PSVR 1. Like,
sure,
if we go a couple more months, I think it would
holiday is
overtake
going to
it.
be big for.
But as you said, give it a price cut. Let's get
needs to be $400.
I was thinking today, I was like, why don't we have a Last of Us VR? Why? I mean, maybe it is in development. I'm just like, that's a slam dunk right there. Like,
Sure.
Easy to do. I mean, easy, right? Comparatively easy to translate that franchise. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, hopefully, because I'm enjoying it. I'm playing so much of it. But another Sony wants to make more hardware. They announced 2 additional bits of hardware. They're making earbuds. So there you go.
3 bits of hardware then.
Oh, sure. 2 earbuds each, but then also a charging case for them. So 4 bits of hardware.
Well, no, so
and
then 5 bits of hardware.
Oh my god.
So what are you including
There's a controller and there's a mobile gaming device that they also announced.
Oh, they didn't announce a controller.
Yeah, the accessibility controller.
Oh, that wasn't at the showcase though. That wasn't at the showcase.
They had it in the showcase.
I think that they maybe had it and like a montage at the end. They didn't announce it there. It's been announced, and I think on accessibility
day, maybe for the first time.
Accessibility.
I had never heard of it or seen it before. I saw it during the
Project
showcase,
Leonardo
and I saw
or something.
final articles about it.
I mean, it got announced a couple of months ago, and then on accessibility day a couple of weeks ago, or like last week, they officially announced it as their access controller. And then I think it was a part of like a montage that we saw in the presentation. But yes, that is coming out. But the thing that was brand new that was announced was Project Q. It is going to be a handheld device that is it literally looks like a DualSense controller with a screen
it's the PlayStation Switch.
But here's the thing, Dan. It only runs remote play.
On Duncan. Oh.
So all it does is it streams games that are happening on your console to the device. It isn't even utilizing cloud. It isn't even utilizing like their cloud system, which they have, mainly because that cloud system doesn't support PS5 games, which is dumb. Maybe they'll unlock that feature down the line, but a really bizarre device, and I'm really curious as to who picks this up. Very interesting.
Not for me.
I saw Matt shitting on it on Twitter. Made me giggle.
It's like, just buy a backbone for your phone.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, it'll have all the features of the DualSense, which obviously the backbone doesn't have, like that, the haptics and the triggers and all that. But yeah, who cares? Tri-Fate Saga asks, I know there's not much information, but is a handheld able to stream from anywhere or only on the same network as your PS5? You can remote play on a different network. So in theory, this handheld works. If they were to come out and say that this handheld
you want to have your console wired, by the way.
I mean, I play off of Wi-Fi and it's okay. I guess. I mean, you would love,
big difference.
It's definitely gonna play better for sure.
Not on your home Wi-Fi. If you're playing somewhere else,
definitely. If you
want to have your console wired.
Yeah. It works relatively well.
Yeah, I've used remote play plenty of times.
if they were to say like, hey, it just is gonna work better.
Yeah.
Like it's just like we got some finagling here. It's just gonna run better. Maybe there's something there that they could sell it, but seems very bizarre. We'll see how it does.
How bizarre.
We got to look at Assassin's Creed Mirage, first gameplay of that.
Man,
And we also got a release date of October 12th. How are you feeling about it?
I'll watch. I watched some of the trailer and tuned myself out because I immediately was like, I started Star Wars and Zelda came out. I'm playing two gigantic action adventure games right now.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely cannot get excited about a third. Like it just looks like a reskin of the other two games I'm playing. So I was like, I'm just not even gonna pay attention to this, and I'm gonna watch this trailer in the fall, and hopefully by then I'll be interested in it.
So the one thing that might excite you is that this is going to be a much smaller game than the previous Assassin's Creeds we've been getting.
Great.
It's going to be about as big as Unity. It's set in Baghdad. It's just the one location, and it seems to, especially from the gameplay, be a big spiritual successor to specifically Assassin's Creed 1, which I love. And if it's just, and it's
aren't it
gonna
playing
have
as like Basim or something?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the
playing as
jackass
Basim.
from Valhalla.
Yep, that's who we're playing as.
Yeah.
It's a prequel showing his story, joining the Order and all of that.
Yeah, fuck that
And
guy.
I'm honestly very excited by it. It's going to have a much bigger focus on stealth, which the series has definitely started to abandon over the years, especially in Valhalla, where you literally play as a Viking that charges into it, like literally has the mechanic of being able to charge a horde of people. Yeah, it is very much God of War. So I'm excited about that. But if you're not excited about Assassin's Creed, that same week, Alan Wake 2 from Remedy coming out, it showed that there will be a new playable character called Saga Anderson, who's an FBI agent. It's all about the murder of an FBI agent. And yeah, it looks fantastic. And it's a Remedy game who I've, because of Control, become a big fan of. Either you played the original Alan Wake or American Nightmare, the spin-off game?
No, I know a lot of people that like it, but I've never played it. I've definitely used it in games.
Tom, do you remember how scared I was when we played Phasmophobia? That shit was terrifying.
So are you even going to be able to play RE4 VR?
Oh, it's going to be... Here's the thing that is helpful. I've beaten RE4 twice. I did it on the GameCube and I did it on the Wii. So you
can get rid of the bad guys.
Yeah, and I know like a lot of what to see. I know it'll look very different now, especially in first. But like I at least can anticipate a lot. Phasmophobia.
Fast forward to Chris peeing his pants while playing VR.
I mean, I'm definitely gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna have to play that game inside instead of in my garage, so people aren't like outside here.
Is he being murdered in there? It's like kind of.
We got a first look at Marathon, Bungie's extraction shooter, their first new IP.
Doesn't seem like it's based on the original
Marathon
IP whatsoever, which I'm a little disappointed by. I was very hyped when I saw the word Marathon come up because Marathon was first person shooter.
I'm never excited when I see that word.
Very cool. But I am excited about a Bungie multiplayer game. A Bungie shooter multiplayer game, especially after it seems like, I don't know, is 343 just going to die? I don't know what's happening. It seems like Microsoft's going to let Halo Infinite just limp on until that Halo Battle Royale comes out. Like,
I got nothing for you on that.
I don't know what's happening at Microsoft, but like, I don't feel optimistic about anything over there right now. So I'm hopeful that this is good.
I think
the style.
Look,
that thing oozed style, and I know Bungie's gonna make a game that feels like it shoots well.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is it has they make the best. Destiny 2 is unequivocally the best shooter from a mechanic standpoint on the planet. Like that with a fun PvP focus with a really cool style, I'm all in. My only issue is that we already saw Jade Raymond's Haven Studio showed off Fair Games at the very beginning of the show, and they looked very similar. And I don't think that's necessarily going to hurt Marathon, but it kind of like dampened my like overall excitement. And I'm a little worried that PlayStation is going to make some mistakes with their live service play, because some of these games look very. There's that Concord game coming out from Firewalk, who they also bought. We don't know anything about that, but that also looked very kind of like neon space themed as well. I'm worried that all of these might get muddled.
Ooh,
and
cyberspace is the new theme.
Yeah, cyberspace, very, very popular.
Cider space, like with apples.
Say cyberspace, that'd be amazing.
There's a cider. I wish I can remember that there's a cider that's themed like space. It's good.
It's just an empty vacuum inside. There's nothing
I
in the
think
can.
it's called like Galaxy Crisp or something.
We got more Plucky Squire.
Oh,
which
Plucky
looks
Squire, but that's not a
fantastic.
PlayStation exclusive. So
No, but we saw more of it, which I'm excited about.
I'm very excited for Plucky Squire. Plucky Squire, I think, will be one of my favorite games of the year. I'm also, you know what I was thinking about? Every year, there's an indie game that is like, holy shit, this is one of the best games of the year.
Yeah.
That hasn't happened yet. That game has not come out yet, as far as I'm aware. Or if it has, I haven't heard anyone say anything.
I think
So
this definitely has I definitely think this has the opportunity to do that. And then I would say
Nock,
that
though.
I would say that the only other thing worth pulling up is we talked about all the VR stuff. Ghost Runner 2, interestingly, got a announcement.
Put that in VR.
That would be wild. Have either of you played that one?
I don't know what it is.
No.
Oh, it's
I was
awesome.
going to, and then I just never got around to it.
It is for people that don't know what it is, it's a first person game, wall running, think Mirror's Edge, set like in a neon futuristic city. You have a sword, and it's one hit, one kill for you and the enemies. And the idea is that you're wall running. It's kind of like a puzzle where you have to figure out the path through the level. That also includes like striking down enemies. There will be gameplay with a motorcycle. He has a motorcycle in this.
Great.
It's amazing because the game only came out like two years ago, so they were able to seemingly kind of like immediately spin up development on the second one.
Spin her up. Get them plates moving.
Yeah, the first one is very cool, but with this one coming out, I definitely think that as long as they can like put out another quality game, like just wait for the second one.
Oh yeah.
You're not going to be. I don't think you're going to be missing very much with the story or anything like that. Yeah, I mean, there was a bunch of other cool stuff, but I think that was most of what was shown off. We didn't see the Last of Us multiplayer game that we have been told we are going to hear about this year. So I wonder if Sony just has a deal with Jeff Keighley and they're going to show that off at SGF.
I mean, that's the thing is, since we don't have E3 this year, I was like, this showcase is split between that. If they show up to that, I don't know if they're confirmed to or not, but Gamescom is arguably like becoming more important than this part of the year.
I just thought that like this is your own showcase. Like you have complete control of the narrative here. Like, why wouldn't you debut
because
the
if you
first
just
look
put like
this
one
game
or two
here?
big games, then people might have to spend more time talking about the other games that aren't going to get as much. Like it allows you to showcase more games that aren't going to be 9s and 10s, that are going to be 7s and 8s.
Sure.
And drum up possibly more excitement because people like all these companies like you guys, you got to write about them, right? So it's like, well, there's only like 2 big things to write about.
Yeah,
so we're gonna have to write about all this other stuff. And it's like,
pen
well,
jockeys.
It's like we have 3 opportunities now throughout the summer to break this up. Like we could do Wolverine here, we could do The Last of Us in one, Wolverine in the other. Like it gives you different opportunities. I don't know if that's what their plan is, but like I would look at it and be like, well, if we have 3 different shows, let's just put one big thing in each one.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, I think there's a really good chance that we see we see Last of Us at Summer Games Fest, because they kind of announced last year's Summer Game Fest that they would be showing off it, and they showed off some concept art and talked about it a little bit there. But it's just that thing of like the precedent has been that PlayStation doesn't do that. They don't reserve, maybe they are thinking about it for like a brand like what is this new structure of E3? But in previous showcases, it's like, no, we're putting everything that we have to show you here right now. Here it is.
But that's also like they were going up against Nintendo and Microsoft the next day. This is even a week earlier than like was anticipated, right? So it's like I think they were able to do this show differently this year, and so in many ways it's hard to compare it like 1-to-1 with the other years.
They also, the other thing with it is like they also like don't need to really do anything. Microsoft is like really struggling to find.
Yeah, they are
its
treading
footing
water right now.
And Switch is like marching to the beat of its own drum as it always has. So it's like not a huge blow, but it's interesting that like Microsoft put out a tweet right after that showed like a ton of the games shown off at the PlayStation showcase, and we're like, look at all the great games coming to Xbox. And like I was everyone like I was talking with Jeff Grove about it. I was like, I was not expecting Microsoft to be able to do a dunk on PlayStation after this showcase. And could Microsoft even have, like, in the eyes of the masses, a better showcase?
Yeah, there's a ton. Dark.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, like, do they do the thing where it's like banger after banger? We get a Hellblade date and more gameplay.
Yeah.
We get Avowed gameplay and a date. We get Perfect Dark stuff. We
Starfield.
The Starfield thing blows the doors off of everything. Like
we're probably not. We're probably just gonna get Starfield, some mini games, and then some other new multiplayer thing that like no one said it'll.
Yeah, I doubt we're gonna get Perfect Dark, but
no, I don't.
We'll see. Either. We'll see. Xbox has a.
They're not in a
good
here. Spot. They're not.
Yeah,
they're in a very bad spot. I would argue. Let's do some mail.
Let's do it.
Email at unrankedpodcast.com or call in to 805-738-8692. That's 805-RETUNYA. RETUNYA. Speaking of Retunia.
Yo! I see that we fixed the constant ringing phone issue. Thanks, Christian. So, all right. So, I'm at Costco today, right? I mistakenly went at 4:30.
This was Sunday.
Today I didn't really have time. Earlier, so it's 4:30 anyway. The place closes at 6. Big mistake. Place is fucking packed. Couple things I noticed while here at the Costco. For anyone who doesn't know, Costco is one of those like warehouse wholesale grocery stores / you can get other shit like a power washer. Anyway, big parking lot, right? What really annoys me is when people wait around. They go really slow, or they wait around for someone who's really close to the front door to the store to leave. That just backs up traffic. I mean, it's unbelievable. Just park far away, you fucks. I understand maybe if there's people who have walking issues or other issues or just societal issues and they don't feel like doing it, but you're holding up everybody else. If you go park all the way up in the nosebleeds, I mean, you're losing maybe 2 minutes of extra walking? Fuck. So that was problem number one. Problem is how much everyone in that store, I don't know what it is about Costco, but no one gives a shit about anybody else. They'll look around slow in the store. I just put my headphones in because I can't take these people. So I just put the headphones in, listen to some tunes, some Tears for Fears of the Kingdom, and try to get my shit and get out. Yeah, that's it.
We're just
purchased
that was
what you purchased in your cart at the exit. Also holding up the line. Like you had 2 people on me purchasing it in the cart. This is a long voice now. Chris, cut this down. Goodbye.
I can't do that. That's not how this works.
Yeah, I don't listen to them. We play them live.
Still, like, yeah, you're just playing them off of the Google Voice thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're not downloading them. Like, you're not like taking them into Audition and like carving them up. two things on this.
Yeah.
One, completely agree.
Yeah, of
I don't
course.
even play the am I gonna get a good space near
Neither
the front
do
at
I. I just
Costco?
try to find the most, like, the fastest place I can park. And sometimes I'll
Yeah.
purposefully go to just straight to the
Yeah.
back.
We go to like the Petco parking lot because
Yeah.
it's like the closest parking lot that like so that's number one.
Do you
Secondly,
think Tuna parked right up in front, or do you think parked in the back?
No, but you get stuck in the maze of like
You
you
don't wanna
can't
get
even go
stuck,
into the
yeah.
lane because
Yeah. Also, I feel like any time on a weekend is a terrible time to go to Costco.
yeah.
especially Sunday, because Sundays are
Sunday.
so I worked there. Employees get time and a half Sundays, which is great. Before I worked at Apple, I worked at Costco.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
you
push,
didn't know? I
pushing
didn't know.
carts,
no
baby.
idea. There you go. Okay.
The thing that they give
How much are
everyone
the
time
hot
and a
dogs
half.
there?
Everyone has to work on Sunday though, because it's so busy that every single person is working on Sunday.
Yeah.
So it's
Chris, how much are the hot dogs there?
$1.50 still.
Still
And
a
they
dollar
always
50.
will be.
Still $1.50.
Yeah.
That's like the one thing that like corporate's been like, we are keeping the hot dog $1.50 no matter
Yeah.
what.
Well,
I mean,
it was
they
like
make,
in the
they
contract.
make them themselves. They
The
Yeah.
founder
yeah.
and the
They
founder.
grind them up after some old unused meats.
My question for Tuna is: he says he puts in his headphones and he listens to Tears for the Fears of the Kingdom. Is he listening
whole
to
thing
Tears
was
for
just a joke.
Fears, or is he listening to Tears of the Kingdom soundtrack?
I think he's listening
is
to
what
Tears
I
of the
want to.
Kingdom.
He's like listening to the soundtrack to
I
Tears
think
of the
so.
Kingdom.
I think that whole thing was just an elaborate joke, so you could say Tears of the Fears of the Kingdom.
Well, he loves to say it.
that
So
is
there you
true.
go. Yep, that's Costco. It can be
I mean,
something.
I agree. The last time I went, I was complaining to Therese about the very same thing in the parking lot. It's all these people. I'm like, just go to the back. Just go. Gotta go during a weekday.
My growing up, my dad like didn't have much money, so him and my stepmom would bring us on like Saturday afternoons, would be like Costco day.
Yep.
So we'd
Yep.
be there from like noon to like 5.
Jesus.
And lunch would just be free samples. Whatever they had in free samples was lunch that day.
Free sample at Costco were dope.
Oh man.
All right, I got another voicemail.
Hey there, Unranked crew. This is Justin or Kill Care Bears in the Discord. I was just calling because last week I called with like a praise, but this week I got like a complaint. I'm gonna go follow in Tuna's footsteps with that one. See, for me, this complaint is purely in public places. But grinds my gears, so to speak, when people pee in a toilet at a public restroom and then don't flush. It drives me nuts. If you want to not flush in your own home, whatever. You do you. That's not a big deal to me. But if you're in a public place, it just feels like common courtesy.
Yeah,
You
of course.
I can
the toilet.
piggyback
You're
on
not
this so
paying for
well.
their water bill. I don't see why it is so hard to not flush. Sorry if I'm calling any of you out on this right now, but it definitely bothers me. Here's what you guys think about that. Oh, and also, I was thinking about the slideshow thing you guys are doing, and just like an idea I had, just to throw it into the consideration box, would be, I think it might be funny if you guys did each other's PowerPoint slides. Like you made one for someone else, and then they had to present it. But then, like the person who made it is in control of like moving on to the next slide. So it's kind of like they have to like fumble their way through a slide that you present.
I mean, I think this is a good idea that we have to
Just
do.
an idea, throwing it out there, have the idea. But other than that, Dan Rank, suck it.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
I think
As far as the toilet thing though, I see this so much because when I'm on the road, I'm in so many arenas and everything where the bathrooms, like there's like it's not like the patrons of like the games are not going to these bathrooms. These like staff bathrooms.
Yeah.
And they're always so fucking disgusting because people don't seem to realize on multiple levels. A, that you actually have to flush toilets a lot of the time. It's not always automatic. And B, if you do take a shit, you shouldn't use the entire toilet paper roll at once without flushing. And so like, and it happens at my office too. Like there'll be like 4 in the bathroom. There's like probably 10 stalls. 4 or 5 at a time are always shut down because some dumbass doesn't know how to like just literally not take the biggest wad of toilet paper ever and like just shove it down the toilet.
Who
I don't know.
raised these people?
It's insane.
That like
These are adults.
no one
raised
you know
these
what I mean?
people?
Because this isn't a thing you just start doing as an adult. This is something you've done. Like you're just like a psycho. You're just a fucking like.
Hold on,
like
while I
your
get the toilet
parents
paper
were
ready to
just
wrap
like,
around my. Look, I have a giant hand. I don't know what they're doing. Like it makes no sense.
This is like, were
I
you
take a
raised
few
among
s- I
fucking
take
farm
sli- a f-
animals? Like,
yeah.
what are we doing?
Especially in public, the max I'll ever go is like 3 or 4 slices of toilet paper. I'll fold it, and then
you grab
it doesn't
too
clog
short
the
a
entire
slice.
toilet.
Speaking of Tim Robbins. No, I agree.
Yeah.
Like I agree with everything everyone is saying right now. It's if public restrooms wouldn't be such a fucking nightmare, I wouldn't hate going
I will
to a public
But also
restroom if
avoid
we
them at
all
all
just
costs.
If
yeah,
you're one of these
100%.
creatures and you have to go back for more toilet paper, just flush in between, and it won't clog the toilet.
Yeah, I mean, we could all be living in a better
listen.
world.
Unless I'm gonna make a mess of myself because I literally cannot hold it anymore, I will never use a public toilet. Like that is the only thing that gets
Yeah,
me
I
into a
gotcha.
pub.
I
I
don't
will
have a
just
choice
be
most of the time,
uncomfortable if
so.
I think I can make it
Yeah.
every time.
Yeah.
10 times out of 10, I can. It's a rare occasion where you lose that battle. That is that was like when I worked at G4. The one thing that was nice because they had like regular, shared like bathrooms with stalls, but there were 2 single like individual like bathrooms that were always like they were cleaned throughout the day. It was nice. They had like big strong fans in them. Like they never smell. It was very nice being like, oh, there's always a safe bathroom because people are fucking animals.
Yeah.
I remember one time I came out of a show and I peed, and then a dude walks out of the stall at the same time as me, and I went to wash my hands, and he just fixes his hat, and it's like, see you in there, like back into the studio room, doesn't wash his hands. He came out of the stall. He wasn't even using an urinal. Like, my man, did you just like take a dump and like wipe and shit?
The
and,
only
like,
time that would be
you didn't
acceptable
wash
is
your
if
Yeah,
he
he
hands?
didn't
Like,
do any wiping.
we
That's
just
why he
had a
washed his
fucking
hands.
pandemic. You didn't
No.
wash your hands?
Here's
What
the
are
only
you
time that would
doing?
be acceptable to me is if he went in the stall just to like adjust his pants or something and then came out. Like
I
without
don't
going to
think
the
so,
bathroom at all.
man.
No, I'm saying he probably didn't, but I think that's
He
the only time would be
flushed.
okay. Well, if he flushed, then that's weird. He definitely went to the bathroom.
Ugh. He tried to like, give you like one of the like, see ya, like
High
handshakes, and
five.
I was like, see ya.
The
And I
clasp your
made sure to
hand.
tell a couple people, I was like, don't shake this person's hand. I was watching him on like, like touching stuff. I was like, oh.
Nope.
All right, let's we're late here. We can any other questions we'll do next week here, guys. Let's go. Dan's streaming this weekend. Where are you streaming, Dan?
You can find me on Twitch /BigDanny15. And if you want to come in the Discord, tell me you want to play, or come in the stream, tell me you want to play. Get in the Discord. We'll chat it up while we play some Fall Guys on Saturday night.
Great. Sundays on Tom streams, I'm doing Avatar. Brooks in it. A slate. It's great. I don't know. Time, you got anything else? Or should I just tell him to stay on rank?
I think staying ranked. Yeah.
Chuck it.